Most people think Croatia is just another European beach destination. But what if I told you there are places in Croatia so spectacular, so impossibly beautiful, that HBO chose them as the backdrop for the most expensive TV series ever made, Game of Thrones? I've discovered 15 destinations across Croatia that will make you understand why this country has become Europe's hottest travel secret. From lakes that look like liquid emeralds connected by fairy tale waterfalls, to islands where lavender fields meet crystal clear seas, to cities so perfectly preserved they transport you straight into medieval times. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal the Croa that exists beyond the typical tourist trail. These are places where ancient Roman history meets pristine nature, where every coastline looks like a postcard, where Game of Thrones fantasy becomes Mediterranean reality. Get ready to discover why Croatia is Europe's best-kept secret. Number 15. Plitvice Lakes National Park, where 16 terraced lakes in impossible shades of turquoise and green are connected by over 90 waterfalls. This looks like nature's own water park designed by fairy tale architects. The incredible colors come from minerals, organisms, and the angle of sunlight hitting the water. Each lake has a different shade, from deep emerald to brilliant turquoise to crystal clear. You walk on wooden pathways that float just above the water, so close you can reach down and touch these liquid jewels. The entire ecosystem is so pristine that it's been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979. Number 14. Dubrovnik Old Town, where medieval walls that took 3 centuries to build surround one of the most perfectly preserved cities in Europe. This is literally King's Landing from Game of Thrones brought to life. The city walls are nearly 2 kilometers long and up to 25 meters high, offering views that stretch across the Adriatic Sea to distant islands. Walking the walls feels like being transported back to medieval times, except the views are more spectacular than any castle in Europe. The marble streets have been polished smooth by millions of footsteps over 7 centuries. Number 13. Hvar Island's lavender fields, where purple flowers stretch to the horizon like a Croatian version of Provence, except these fields overlook some of the clearest water in the Mediterranean. The scent is so intense it perfumes the entire island. Hvar has been cultivating lavender for over a century, and the island produces some of the world's finest lavender oil. Walking through these fields during sunset, with the scent of lavender mixing with sea air and the sound of waves in the distance, creates a sensory experience that feels almost magical. The contrast of purple flowers against ancient stone walls and turquoise sea is pure Mediterranean poetry. Number 12. Rovinj, where Venetian-style houses in brilliant colors rise directly from the sea, like a real-life painting. This Istrian town looks more like Italy than Croatia because it was ruled by Venice for over 500 years. The houses are painted in colors that were once used to help fishermen identify their homes from the sea: bright yellows, deep reds, ocean blues. The Church of St. Euphemia crowns the hill, and you can climb its bell tower for views that stretch across the entire Istrian peninsula. Artists have been drawn to Rovinj for decades, and walking these streets feels like wandering through an open-air art gallery. Number 11. Krka National Park, where you can actually swim at the base of waterfalls that cascade over natural limestone terraces. Unlike most national parks, Krka encourages swimming in these crystal-clear pools. The main waterfall, Skredinsky Buk, drops over 17 natural barriers, creating a series of pools that are perfect for swimming. The water is incredibly clear because it's filtered through limestone, and swimming here feels like being in nature's own spa. The wooden walkways wind through the park, offering views of waterfalls from every angle. Number 10. Zlatni Rat Beach on Brack Island, where a perfectly triangular beach extends into the sea like a golden arrow. This beach actually changes shapes depending on winds and currents, sometimes pointing east, sometimes west. The beach is made of tiny pebbles that have been polished smooth by the Adriatic Sea, creating a surface that's comfortable to walk on, but still allows the water to stay crystal clear. The beach is surrounded by pine trees that provide natural shade, and the contrast between the golden pebbles, turquoise water, and dark green pines creates one of the most photogenic beach scenes in Europe. Number 9. Diocletian's Palace in Split, where people still live inside a 1700-year-old Roman palace. This isn't a museum. It's a living city where apartments, shops, and restaurants operate inside ancient Roman walls. The palace was built by Roman Emperor Diocletian as his retirement home, and it's so well preserved that you can still see the original Roman columns, ancient cellars, and imperial apartments. What makes it unique is that the palace never became ruins. People have lived here continuously for over 1,500 years, creating a fascinating blend of ancient and modern life. Number 8. Kornati Islands National Park, where 89 mostly uninhabited islands create a maze of limestone scattered across the Adriatic like nature's own puzzle pieces. This is Croatia's most pristine marine environment. The islands are almost completely barren, covered only with aromatic herbs and wild grasses that have adapted to the harsh Mediterranean climate. What makes them spectacular is the dramatic cliffs that drop straight into crystal clear water, creating a landscape that looks more like a moonscape than Earth. Sailing between these islands feels like exploring an alien world. Number 7. Motovun, a medieval hilltop town in Istria that rises like a fairy tale castle above valleys where the world's most expensive truffles grow wild. This town has been perched on this hill for over 2,000 years. The town is completely surrounded by medieval walls, and walking through the ancient gates feels like entering a time machine. The valleys below are covered with oak forests where trained dogs search for truffles that can cost thousands of dollars per kilogram. From the town walls, you can see across the entire Istrian peninsula to the Alps in the distance. Number 6. The Blue Cave on Vis Island, where sunlight enters through an underwater opening to create water that glows electric blue like liquid neon. Swimming here is like swimming inside a living sapphire. The cave can only be entered by small boats during calm weather, and the entrance is so narrow that you have to duck down to get inside. Once inside, the entire cave glows blue from the reflected sunlight, creating an otherworldly atmosphere that makes you feel like you're inside a piece of jewelry. The effect is so spectacular that it's considered one of the natural wonders of the Adriatic. Number 5. Trogir Historic Center, where an entire medieval city sits on a tiny island connected to the mainland by bridges. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is called the Museum City because every building is a masterpiece of medieval architecture. The city has been continuously inhabited for over 2,000 years, and you can see Roman, Venetian, and medieval influences in every building. The Cathedral of St. Lawrence has a portal that's considered one of the finest examples of Romanesque sculpture in use. Walking these streets feels like being inside a living museum where every corner reveals another architectural treasure. Number 4. The Elaphiti Islands near Dubrovnik, where car-free islands offer some of the most pristine beaches in the Mediterranean. These islands are what the Croatian coast looked like before tourism development. The 3 main islands, Kolosep, Lopud, and Sipan, have no cars, no hotels, just traditional stone houses, olive groves, and beaches with water so clear you can see the bottom 30 feet down. The islands were once the summer retreat for Dubrovnik's nobility, and you can still see their abandoned palaces and gardens slowly being reclaimed by Mediterranean vegetation. Number 3. Biokovo Skywalk, where a glass, horseshoe-shaped platform extends over a cliff 1,200 meters above the Adriatic Sea. Standing here feels like floating in the air above the entire Dalmatian coast. The Skywalk offers 360-degree views that stretch from the Biokovo Mountains to the islands of Brač, Hvar, and Vis. On clear days, you can see all the way to Italy across the Adriatic. The platform is built to withstand winds up to 200 kilometers per hour, but standing on glass above such a dramatic drop still gives you an incredible adrenaline rush. Number 2. Opatija, where elegant Austro-Hungarian villas line a waterfront promenade that's been called the Nice of the Adriatic. This was the playground of European royalty for over a century. The 12-kilometer Lunkumor Promenade connects a series of beautiful parks, historic hotels, and villas that once hosted emperors, kings, and aristocrats. The microclimate here is so perfect that palm trees and exotic plants thrive alongside the Adriatic Sea. Walking this promenade at sunset with the sound of waves and the scent of Mediterranean flowers, feels like stepping into a Belle Epoque postcard. And number 1, Istrian wine country, where rolling hills covered in vineyards create a landscape that rivals Tuscany. Except these wines are still Croatia's best-kept secret. This peninsula produces some of Europe's most exciting wines. The Istrian Peninsula has been producing wine since Roman times, and the combination of Mediterranean climate, limestone soil, and ancient winemaking traditions creates wines that are winning international awards. The landscape is dotted with hilltop towns, truffle forests, and family-owned wineries where you can taste wines that cost a fraction of what similar quality would cost in Italy or France. From emerald lakes connected by fairy tale waterfalls to medieval cities that served as backdrops for the world's most expensive TV series, Croatia isn't just a travel destination, it's where fantasy becomes reality. Where every coastline looks like a movie set, where ancient history and pristine nature create the perfect Mediterranean dream. What makes Croatia truly special is how it offers the beauty of Italy, the history of Rome, and the pristine nature of untouched Mediterranean islands, all at a fraction of the cost. You can explore Roman palaces in the morning, swim in crystal-clear waterfalls in the afternoon, and dine on world-class seafood while watching the sunset over medieval walls. Now I'm dying to know, which of these 15 places made you want to start planning your Croatian adventure immediately? Was it those impossible turquoise lakes with their fairy tale waterfalls? Or maybe that medieval city where Game of Thrones came to life? Drop a comment below with the number of your favorite Croatian paradise. If this video has ignited your wanderlust for Croatia's incredible beauty, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Every week, we explore destinations that prove our planet is more magical than we ever imagined. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Speaking of hidden European gems, next week we're exploring Portugal to discover 15 places where dramatic cliffs meet perfect surf, where medieval castles overlook fairy tale villages, and where port wine and pastéis de nata create the ultimate culinary adventure. Portugal is going to completely surprise you. Until then, keep dreaming of crystal clear waters and medieval magic. Keep planning your next Adriatic adventure, and I'll see you in the next incredible destination. Use enhanced